Great to be joined by Hilton Head State Representative Jeff Bradley as he gets set to start another legislative session. Seemed like the last one ended about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
You've been after it a lot. The legislature's plate isn't just full. We might have to have a second plate. There's an awful lot you guys have to do in the coming session, and a lot of it's not real sexy stuff. Yeah, it's work that's got to get done. What do you think? What's the big priority on your plate?
On my plate, I am taking on a new role this year. I'm going to be moved to the Judiciary Committee, which is supposed to be a big step forward for me. I'm looking forward to that. But I'm still going to be engaged in the education world. I am totally focused on that. However, the state is forced to deal with the closure of the VC Summers nuclear construction projects 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be a pretty massive discussion.
Because that's most of the rest of the state. We're really not on the island affected by all of that too much?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Most everybody here on the island is a Palmetto Electric customer, but I'm getting calls now from lobbyists for SCANA.
Sure.
Are you cognizant of the SCANA merger with Dominion Resources?
Right.
Well, we're getting calls now from the lobbyists from each one of those guys trying to make sure that we're aware of what the details are of the merger.
You want to work with the state retirement system. That's going to be another big thing, getting that taken care of.
That's a huge problem.
Walk us through a little of that.
It actually dwarfs the VC Summers problem. We're somewhere in the $20 to $25 billion underfunded.
How do we fix that?
Well, I think the first thing that we need to do is we need to go to a defined contribution plan, which is the traditional 401k type plan. That will help cleave off the future liabilities that exist for legacy employees, which we have chosen to address all employees and fund for their promises that we've made. So
there's going to be a tax hike in here somewhere eventually.
There already has been. Yeah. There are 902 entities that are participants in the South Carolina retirement system. Each one of those employers are going to be required to cough up more money to sustain the plan. That ultimately falls into the lap of the local folks who are going to have to pay more to make that happen, or deal with smaller services.
If we begin to fix it, if we begin to address the problem, does that help us recruit people to serve, to work for the state? It seems like we have a lot of areas of the state that don't have enough people working for them.
Well,
and part of that is
it's not just the state, Bob. It's the entire state of South Carolina.
Okay.
It's private as well as the public. I have heard that argument now for the 3 years that I've been up there, that there is a requirement to have this lucrative retirement system in order to recruit and retain people. I haven't seen the first bit of evidence that proves that. So,
get folks in, set them up on a 401k, and that ought to.
I think here's the way that conversation. Here's the way that conversation goes.
All right.
You're an employee. You come in and you say, "Do you have a retirement system?" And you, as the employer, say, "Yes, we do." And they say, "Do you have health benefits?" And you say, "Yes, we do." And they say, "Good, I'll take the job." So
that should take care of things. Education-wise, you say you're still going to keep your hand in it, still going to keep pushing
absolutely
it, because you have some issues that are very important to you education.
Well, I do. You and I have talked about the GED camp before. I'm still working on that, but I have a new one that we're engaged in. The state is on the leading edge of this concept called competency-based education or personalized learning, and I'm working with the University of South Carolina. I'm working with John Peterson, who is the Dean of the School of Education, to craft classes for future teachers to teach them how to teach in the environment of a competency-based program. So we will be teaching teachers how to teach personalized learning and competency-based education programs.
Now, is that revolutionary, big change in the movement of it, or is that more of a
well, the competency-based education is kind of a game changer, I think, because that's how an awful lot of people learn to begin with. They'll take on a task and they'll learn it until they can can effectively do it. So that's new. That concept is going to be sweeping the nation, and believe it or not, South Carolina is in the forefront of that. So there are some folks at the University of Maine and Southern Oregon University that are kind of leading, and we have corralled them in to help us in South Carolina to pull this off. So we're pretty excited.
Good stuff. All
Yeah,
right.
it is good stuff.
Yeah, all right. It's going to be an election season too. Does any of this get done because it's an election year?
Oh, I think there will be lots of things that get done because it's an election year. I don't mean to be.
There you go. Well, I would think that would be the positive way to look at it.
And there will be a lot of things that don't get done because it's an election year. And even some of the topics that people, some of the contentious topics that people want to talk about aren't even going to be brought to the surface because
It's an election year.
we're hopeful that we can get the defined contribution program legislation through the House of Representatives before all the Republicans have to announce that they're running for re-election. So we'll toss it off to the Senate and let them worry about it.
Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Okay.
We need to
It's
keep
always good
this
to be
going.
here.
We need to keep this going and keep an eye on what's going on up in Columbia because it certainly affects us. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, State Representative Jeff Bradley of Hilton Head Island. We're going to be back to talk about a project here on the island that hasn't gotten too much pub yet, but it's going to be a big thing happening in 2018. Frank Soule joins us next.